If you're like most riders, you recognize our sport has some inherent dangers. Now, however, through my research in the last 10 years, I've learned a few things that may shock you. During that time, my customers put 2.5 million miles on my sport touring rental fleet, and there were only 2 incidents severe enough for hospitalization. Surprising? Yes, but the reason is even more of a surprise. Please stay to the end of this short video and I'll reveal the findings that were totally unexpected, and I'll also provide a simple tip that you can apply immediately that can make an important difference in your next emergency situation. Now, the Hurt Report, which was published in 1981, focused on motorcycle accidents and in many ways kicked off the focus on motorcycle safety courses. Back then, left-turning vehicles were the #1 cause of motorcycle automobile accidents, and they still are. Now, not much of a surprise there, but motorcycle accidents per capita have increased since then, and during that same time, we've gotten anti-lock brakes, radial ply tires, stiffer frames, and improved suspension, all which benefit motorcycle handling and capabilities. Despite these developments, there was no corresponding decrease in motorcycle injury. In fact, in some categories, injuries actually increased. What's more, a California Highway Patrol study found that 33% of serious motorcycle accidents did not involve another vehicle. And of all solo accidents, 92% were the rider's fault. Speed, reckless driving, and alcohol aside, this requires our attention. So what is this shocking bombshell I discovered? Do you remember a time when you were horsing around and maybe fell off some structure and your life seemed to flash before your eyes? That was your unconscious searching the database for some idea for how to prevent injury from the imminent impact. In short, it was looking for what we know as a survival reaction. We now know from neuroscience and neurobiology, this was not the mind, but rather the subconscious searching through millions of neural connections in literally milliseconds, which is why it seems like it was your entire life in a fraction of a second. Now stay with me on this. The conscious mind can process about 50 bits of information per second, whereas the brain and subconscious can process over 10 million bits of information in that same second. Now, these neural pathways become your automatic responses and reactions. If you don't have some neural memory of how to get out of that particular situation, the subconscious is going to use the thing that fits most closely. For many riders, that will be a familiar situation in an automobile. Let's say you're driving along in your car and the driver in front of you stops suddenly. What do? Probably what we observed our parents do. Slam on the brakes, stiffen our arms, and target fixate on the bumper that's in front of us. Tense our entire body, hoping to stop in time. Sometimes it works, sometimes maybe not. But in the absence of a better stored solution, it's what the subconscious gives the motorcycle rider. Now watch YouTube videos of motorcycle accidents and you'll see this sequence play out over and over. Stiff arms, holding on to the brakes, all the way up until impact. I told you I would give you a tip based on these findings, and it's actually one of the drills that's in the free guide that I'm going to give you. Instead of riding near the center of your lane, get in the habit of riding a half meter or so from the dividing line. By riding in this position, if the car in front of you stops suddenly, you can easily shift over a meter or so. You already know the dividing line has a high likelihood of being clear, and because you're only shifting your line slightly, there's virtually no lean angle. It's something you can do at any speed. However, knowing this cognitively is not enough. Remember, the conscious mind only processes 50 bits per second. You have to practice it. Get it into your muscle memory the same way athletes do, except it doesn't take hours and hours of practice. You can do it in one practice session. The drill is this, and you can start in a parking lot and simulate the lane markings. Ride a half meter to the right or left of a line, and you want to practice on both sides. From different speeds, pick a spot where you begin the emergency sequence. When you get there, brake progressively, not to stop, but to slow down. Arms bent and relaxed. Use your core for stability. At the same time, move the bike to ride precisely on the line. Check your mirror and release the brakes. Why release the brakes? Because if there is a car behind you, you're giving them a better chance to miss you by releasing the brakes. And this entire sequence can be done in less than a second. Practice it a few times on each side of the line until it feels natural, and have a focus on precision. Precision is an element of deep practice. The next time you're faced with that situation, you'll see how effortlessly your subconscious creates an appropriate response. Click the link in the lower left for my free guide, which includes 7 drills and insights to lock this and other skills into your muscle memory. Your email is not required. It's totally free. My objective is to get this information to as many riders as possible. If you want more, you can also purchase the full course, which has 25 lessons and drills to help you become a safer, more proficient rider. So click the link to get started. Remember, the 7 drill guide is completely free. Just click the link, download the guide, share it with your friends, and start your Drills for Skills journey to safer riding.